Hello, it's James from JRTBs. It is March the 13th, just after noon. It's beautiful. It's like 67 degrees. All the bees are flying, and I wasn't going to make a video today, but I see something going on with hive number 6, colony number 6. I'll show you in a minute, and I figured I'd take you along and see what's going on, and just trying to keep it real. And I made a lot of videos last year as the season progressed, just of random stuff. Try not to bore anyone, and I try not to do anything repetitive, as my season progressed. And I'm going to do that again this year, but I'm going to try and document more as single brood box management. That's how I started, with 2 nukes, and they went right into single deeps, and that's all I've had ever since. I'm going into my 5th year. A double deep, I've never even had a double deep, and I'm not really quite sure how to manage a double deep. I'm sure I can figure it out, but always had single management, and that's the way I like it, and I think it's easier for me. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but that's just the way I have been doing it. And I learned a lot on YouTube. Probably 85% of what I've learned was from other beekeepers, new and old, and I've read a couple books front to back, and I took a Zoom beekeeping course with Dr. Peck through Better Bee. So one winter, that was fun. I got to talk to him one-on-one. But 85% of what I've learned was from YouTube, so that's pretty much why I'm making videos. If I could help anybody along the way, then it's a win. And I also like just to video my season, so I can go back and look at things and see how I can improve. But I think overall, so far, I'm going into my 5th season. My bees have always been really healthy. I get plenty of honey, but it's really not about the honey. I just want to have happy, healthy bees, and so far I think they overall have been very healthy. I've lost 2 5-frame nukes over winter and 2 full-size 10-frame. So I've lost 4 colonies in 4 winters. So I think that's, compared to some, like the national average, I think is up to like 50 to 60% loss over winter. So I think I'm doing something right here. I don't know if it's a single hive management, single deeps. That's just the way I like doing it. Again, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but yeah, I'm going to try and make videos as my season progresses, more towards the single hive management and how I do it, from spring right into winter. Obviously, swarming is the #1 issue with single deeps, but there's ways around that. I mean, I do get swarms, but most of my splitting ends up being swarms, because I catch most of them. I know I lost 1 last year here, and the other apiary, there was 3 colonies, 2 of them swarmed, and I lost them, but they requeened. But I'll go over that when we get closer to that. But I just wanted to just explain kind of what I'm planning on doing this bee season. And I know a lot of beekeepers try to make 1 video per week. I'm just going to make a video every time something new arises, or something changes, or I have to do something different, or if I see something bad, or if I see something good, then I will try to make a new video. And I just always keep it real. I don't edit any of my videos, so sometimes they're a little long. But I'm showing you exactly what I see, and as I see it. So good and bad. you'll see it. So let me show you this colony number 6. Now all winter there was always water, moisture dripping out of this colony. You can see here's number 4. The entrance is nice and dry, bees coming in and out. Then you come over here to number 6 and it's all wet. I don't know what's going on. There's dead bees everywhere. There's bees going in and out. There's pollen going in. But there's something going on with this colony. There's lots of dead bees out in front. But they all have dead bees. But see this landing board? Nice and dry, clean. All the rest. This is the only one that's like this. You can see the moisture. So we're going to get in here right now and do an inspection and see what's going on. I know this was really light when I unwrapped it, so I had to put sugar. I took all the sugar that was left over from the other colonies. I got the smoker lit, and I put all the sugar on here because they're really light. So I am prepared to feed. I have some sugar water. Let's see what's going on. I mean, there's bees up there. I just don't know where all the water is coming from. And with the sugar that I put up here, should absorb a lot of sugar. See all that sugar? This was last week. All that sugar is gone. So I don't even know. I mean, this is kind of, the way they're acting is kind of unusual. This could be a robbing situation. So that's why I wanted to go in this hive and show you what's going on, whether it's good or bad. I don't know. There's a lot of bees. And I see some girls with pollen, so they might just be really hungry. I mean, there was a lot of sugar on top of this, and it's gone. First frame of the season. There's a little honey. Nothing on that side. Set this down. Yeah, they don't look like robbers. They're just real active today, I guess, maybe. Some weight. So there's some honey there. So they do have a little honey. This fat frame. I just don't know where all the moisture has been coming from. All winter long there's been lots and lots of moisture. Literally dripping out of the front. Yep, these look like house bees. I don't think they were robbers. They just were acting funny. This is empty. So they've eaten all that. I'm looking for eggs. A little bit of honey left there. Let me take this one out too. My first inspections, I like to clean the shelves off, the propolis off. Try to clean as much propolis as possible. Just makes it easier later in the season. I don't know if you can see in front of the hive, it looks like a swarm. These are just empty frames. Nothing in them. There's a little bit of pollen, look there, fresh pollen. You can see that. It's like a yellowish green little spot there. Clean these edges off a little bit. Helps later in the season. Good propolis, I'll save that. This one back in. Must be orientation flight. If you could see that and hear that out in front of the hive. So there's got to be some brood in there. It looks like they're doing an orientation flight as I'm inspecting them. I don't see any moisture problems here. Not up here anyway. These are all light, empty frames. There's nothing in them. They got them clean. Lots of bees. Oh, there I see eggs. Let's see. This whole side is full of eggs. I don't know if the camera will pick that up in the sun. I'll turn it a little bit. Hopefully that's going to pick up. So that's all full of eggs. So we know we have a queen. She could be up here. Should be marked red for last year. I didn't look at the notes before I got into this colony, but I think there's only maybe two other colonies with yellow queens from 2012. 2013 last year was red, and this year I'm pretty sure it's green. Yep, this is all eggs. We're scanning for the queen. And this is all eggs right in the middle. Don't see the queen. So this colony appears to be just fine. This has just some pollen and just open cells here. So there's just those two frames in the middle that the queen has laid eggs in. That's typical this time of year. Every one of these colonies should have brood in the top super that they overwintered in. That's how I overwinter all of the single deeps. It's a single deep and a medium super on top. Oh, first sting of the year. That's good. Get that over with. Right in the thumb. We'll get some smoke on that. Alright, those other two frames are empty. So I didn't see the queen up here. Let's get these frames all pushed to the middle. I'm going to put them right back the way they were. Wow, that hurt. They say the early spring stings hurt more than the summer stings. I tend to believe that. It's like they load up all winter long. So we got, this frame has a good bit of honey in it. Not real happy. Get these pushed together. So if that's all the honey they have, then I need to get some sugar syrup on these girls. It's going to be really warm, really even warmer tomorrow. Yeah, they're very light. There's like nothing. So that deep probably has nothing in it. But it's supposed to be warm for the next 4 or 5 days. So then it does drop down and get a little chilly. All right. Yeah, this is light. What I like to do is, if I'm setting them on the ground, I'll put an inner cover on them just to shelter them, and it just helps keep them quiet a little bit. All right, let's see. They're bumping my hands pretty good. They're definitely first inspections. They're usually not too happy. I want to get some of this comb off. I'm usually always cleaning a little bit as I go. It takes a little time, but in the long run, I think it helps for future inspections. This whole box is sliding. Yeah, there's no honey in this box at all. They definitely need food. I think this was the lightest. I don't know why that, I don't think that would have anything to do with why there's moisture coming out of the front, but shout, ladies. I'll just set that wax up on top, and any bees I scoop up will climb out and go back to the colony. Alright, let's see if I can get a frame out. Start over here on this side. It's actually warmer than it seems because the propolis is a little gooey. Remember last year, the first inspections, everything must have been colder out. It was popping, and yeah, the bees weren't happy about that. They're tight in there though. It's coming. So there's a little mold. I don't know if you can see that right here. There's some mold. This is just an empty frame. There's a lot of mold on the outside. That was the outside. There's one dead bee. So this bottom board might be covered with dead bees. That's what I wanted to get down. I can see the moisture down there. I'm going to pull this off in a minute. I just want to see what's on some of these frames. That bee sting still hurts. Just some pollen, a little bit of mold. There's a little mold there on that one. This is all empty comb. This is a pretty big colony. I was thinking I was going into a really small, compromised colony, and that's not the case. They got plenty of bees. Most of them are on the top though. This is just all empty. I'm looking for eggs. There's the pollen that they've been bringing in. That's all fresh pollen. If you can see that. So that's what they've been working on. I'm looking for eggs. I don't see any eggs here. I know there's a queen in there because we saw eggs in the top. So that's a pollen frame. Now I'm going to clean off the sides here. There's lots of propolis. All right. I think what I'm going to do is get this deep box off, set it over there onto the super. Yeah, there's no stores in there. All right, let me show you what we got here. I use slatted racks on all of my colonies. If it helps at all with swarming, I don't know, but that's what I try. That's what they say. It just helps give them a little bit more space. Look at that bottom board. It is just soaked. There's sugar on there and just water. Ready? I mean, that is just, I don't know what the heck's going on with that. It didn't drain out. I mean, this does lean forward. Let me scrape this all off. It'll help them out. They don't need that down there. Scrape that all off. Yep, that's nasty. Once we get this cleaned off, then we'll be able to take care of it from there, I think. I will do this to every colony too, the first inspections. Unless I look down and they're perfectly clean. But I like to clean them all off before the season starts. That's better. Alright, girls. Sorry. This one might actually be tipped back a little bit. Some of these stands have kind of sunk into the ground over the years. Let's put this back. Keep it in the same configuration. All right. Scrape the stuff off of the top of the slatted rack. That should be good. Definitely better. That looks more healthy. Yeah, that might just be, I don't have a level with me, but it could be tipped back a little bit. I think I'll put a few shims under there. Okay. Put the deep back on. Yeah, I usually don't feed in the spring at all, unless they need it, like this one. This one definitely needs some food. But normally I don't. Let's look at a few more frames. And I don't feed pollen patties either because, let's see, we'll look on this. Yeah, there's not much pollen on that one. But there you can see all that fresh pollen. I don't know, I don't see why they would need a pollen patty with the amount of pollen that comes in. I usually get extra pollen frames I got to take out to give them more room to lay. So I don't do pollen patties or sugar water unless they need it. With the single deeps, you really don't want them just blowing up super fast, even though they probably do. And there's some nice capped brood. And that's all larvae and eggs below. So that's a complete frame right there. The queen might be close here. And that is all capped brood. Eggs and larvae down below. I don't see the queen. But that looks great. That's a good pattern. I don't think there's any issue with this queen or this colony other than it's got no food, and I believe it was tipped back just enough where the rain was going in and getting trapped on the bottom board. So I will fix that. Watch out, ladies. There's a lot of bees in here. If those cold temperatures weren't in the forecast for next week, then I would be putting more boxes on these. But with those cold temperatures coming, I mean, this must be in the 20s 3 nights in a row. I'm just not comfortable with putting all that space above them that they're gonna have to try and keep warm. They're going to lose the heat. The heat's going to go rise up into that new box. I could put boxes underneath, but I've never done that. So I'm going to hold off for now. I mean, there's no swarm cells. I'm not even seeing any drone. I was looking for drones. Normally, once you see drone brood, I mean, that means they are getting really close to swarming. So far, I'm not seeing a single drone brood. These are all light frames, no honey. Looking for that queen. That's all open larvae there. Under those bees, they're keeping it warm. And I don't necessarily look for a red dot or a yellow dot. I'm just looking for a queen. Sometimes they can chew that paint off, or they just requeen, you don't know it, from last year. So this is where she would be close. This is all polished frames where she hasn't laid eggs yet, but they're ready to be laid. So it's 2.5 frames of brood. Then there's a little 2 frames of medium brood at the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 frames of brood in this colony, March 15th. These are all Italian mutts. Which tend to brood up bigger normally. I'm assuming this one probably doesn't have much of anything. Let's see. Yeah, now there's more pollen. There's she is. See the red dot? You see, make sure you can see her. I can't see into the camera. I'll show you her right here. She looks nice. That's from last year. She's a new queen from last year, so, and she's doing great. Yeah, I don't see any eggs on this frame yet, but they're all polished up. So she's getting ready to lay them. So this colony is doing great. Put her right back in. No need to go in those other two frames. I'm gonna have to feed this colony. Watch out, girls. When you slide these together, you gotta make sure the bees aren't on those bars. There we go. All right. So they're doing good. Nice to see a queen. Start sliding these back over. I didn't quite clean everything. This one's not so bad. Some are a lot worse than others. I'm going to take this frame. It's nice and open. It's got pollen, fresh pollen. The queens on this, the queens here, these two have brood. I'm going to stick this nice open frame right down in the middle. Just by doing that, that could buy me a week. She'll lay that up instead of putting it all the way over there on the side. Some of these frames, I'll clean the bars up before I put them back in. Propolis gets so built up. That mold I don't think is an issue. They'll clean that off. Now that I got the moisture out of there, they will be much happier for sure. Watch out, girl. There you go. Scrape this. Got it. All right. Some moldy. We'll fix it up. Let me dress this one up. Should fit right in there. No problem. Yep. All right. Okay. Get the super back on. I'll show you how I'm going to feed them. So the queen is in the bottom, I know, but she has been in the top, and this time of year I'm going to, allow her free access wherever she wants to go to try and make it so she has as much space as she wants. So they try to keep them from swarming as long as possible. Clean this off. All right, inner cover. Okay, I'll be right back. So I got some sugar water here. I just mixed up last night to feed those 2 colonies at the other apiary. And I did go there already today, and I just put on top feeders and I filled them. So they each have like 2 gallons because they were not as light as this one, but I don't go there much, so I wanted to make sure they weren't going to starve to death. They'll probably it's supposed to be warm for the next 4 days. They'll take that down. It'll probably be gone by the end of the day tomorrow, and they'll just put that right in the hive and they'll be fine. Now this isn't that much, it's only a mason jar, but it will leave enough room there so they can come up here if they want. It'll definitely get them through. I'm gonna have to keep changing it, and I'll just put this old, I think that's a shallow super I got from, this was like the first beekeeping equipment. Somebody gave it to me. It's a shallow. I just keep it for a shim. And you can see it had wax moth damage, wax moth cocoon stuff all over it at one point. But yep, I will have to change this out and just keep the food on until we start seeing some nectar coming in, because there's no honey in there other than those 2 frames in the super, which aren't very much. So I'll keep feeding them. I'm just coming over here to look. I don't know, it looks like that hive it could be leaning back a little bit. It's got to be what happened. I don't know why all that moisture would be in there. I'm going to get some small shims, just put under the back, just to tip it forward just a little bit. I know this side of, I had to put this big piece of 2x12 there. And this colony number 3 is tipped up because this side of my stand started to sink, so I guess this side might have started to sink too. Maybe I'll get the level. I'll shim that up. But yeah, that's a good start. So that's looking better already. It's not so wet. You'll be able to clean that up. And they should be fine. Alrighty. I'll see you in the next one. Good luck with your bees. And thanks for watching. Bye.